Number 1.
Planet variety is far beyond what was possible before.
When it was first released back in 2016, No Man's Sky was lambasted for its lack of gameplay and unpolished design. Many fans were upset that the release seemed to lack many of the initial promises that were made by the developer. Hello Games. Thankfully, even though it was critically panned during its initial release, designers stuck with the title and continued to improve it as much as possible in the following years. Nowadays, No Man's Sky is leaps and bounds better than what it once was. Players are finally getting the space epic they'd hoped for, and feelings toward No Man's Sky are incredibly positive in recent years. Players that are looking for a fun, in-depth, and downright addictive open world should hop into this now fantastic adventure.
Number 2.
Though Fallout 4 may be New Vegas' shinier, newer, and slightly better optimized cousin, New Vegas is considered the crown jewel of Fallout's three-dimensional, first-person outings for a reason. With Obsidian helming the effort, the role-playing elements that were present in Fallout 3 were polished to a mirror shine that Fallout 4 couldn't seem to pull off in succession. The Mojave Wasteland may look a bit dated by modern standards, but the courier's fateful journey after being shot and left for dead still makes for a timelessly wild adventure.
Number 3.
Humanity has always hunted for knowledge in the unknown. The wonder is, not that the field of stars is so vast, but that we have measured it.
Starfield was the biggest title added to Xbox Game Pass in 2023. Bethesda's latest RPG was in development for a very long time, and it was also the developer's first IP in decades. Consequently, the game was always going to be huge, regardless of whether it lived up to the hype or not. While perhaps not attracting Skyrim levels of praise, Starfield is nevertheless an impressive feather in Bethesda's cap, one that represents a step forward in a few areas. Its character customization, gunplay, and companions might just be the best in the company's history, at least when solely counting games developed by Bethesda Game Studios. While it takes a few hours to get going and can be largely ignored, the main story is pretty good too. Like most of Bethesda's flagship releases, Starfield is open world, although it is a different breed than Skyrim or Fallout 4. As the map is spread over a large selection of planets, players will be spending a lot of time fast traveling from place to place, which breaks immersion to an extent. It is possible to jump on a ship and fly through space, but it is not a big part of the overall experience, nor can players land on planets. Basically, Starfield does not have a seamless world that players can traverse in its entirety without a loading screen, instead offering smaller self-contained areas that make up a larger universe. This is not necessarily a criticism, but it does grant the game a different flavor than most of Bethesda's other classic open-world RPGs.
Number 4.
Goat Simulator 3 is a fever dream in the best possible way. Taking inspiration from franchises like GTA while very much doing its own thing, Coffee Stain's sandbox project strives to deliver unbridled chaos, and it largely succeeds in its endeavor. Xbox Game Pass has both Goat Simulator and its sequel Don't Ask About Goat Simulator 2, and while fun can be had with the former, it is difficult to recommend in the latter's presence. Therefore, provided someone can handle the thought of not knowing the full story, they should jump directly into Goat Simulator 3. This should go without saying, but this game does not take itself too seriously, and the campaign sets the tone right out of the gate with a cute nod to Skyrim. After that, players are fairly quickly unleashed in San Angora, an impressively large map that is made to be broken. Unlike the first game, the sequel provides a more curated single-player campaign through the implementation of traditional missions, although their contents are anything but ordinary. As fun as it can be to run around in chaos mayhem, Goat Simulator 3 really comes alive when played with friends.
Number 5.
Insomniac has spent recent years crafting superhero-themed adventures featuring everyone's favorite neighborhood wall crawler. However, Marvel's Spider-Man was not the developer's first foray into open-world territory. Sunset Overdrive might be one of the more underappreciated titles of the 2010s, and the game's brilliant movement system ranks it among the best open-world games on Game Pass. Basically a large playground, Sunset City is filled with rails and zip lines, encouraging players to take to the skies and grind their way above the streets. The gunplay is also fun, particularly once players unlock their full arsenal of weapons.
Car safe now.
Number 6.
Burnout is an all-around great franchise, one that produced some of the most entertaining racers of the early 2000s. Burnout Paradise adapts the series' frantic gameplay to an open-world structure, providing players with complete freedom in how they pursue their racing careers. Although small compared to most modern settings, Burnout Paradise's open world is varied and immaculately designed. On these streets, speed is the name of the game, and there will be more than a few crashes along the way. The brilliance of Burnout Paradise's map becomes apparent once players memorize the ins and outs of its layout, letting them zip through its roads instinctively rather than following markers.